365 days of dreams, of collecting material daily from dreams. 365 days of dream awareness. One of the very first things I began noticing is how dream awareness can change you. Ice cubes as currency, body phenomena, militarized war zone. Today, last year, I am in the car, sleeping in the car. I'm going to pay for a room for the night, and I'm paying for the room with ice. It's interesting what we use for currency in the fields. What we ourselves specifically use as currency in the fields. Ice is something I use a lot in there, as is nuts. Continuing. My previous visit here, I paid in delicate little ice cubes. They were all I had. I am in the car, now looking into the chest of cubes from which I will be paying, and they are all still remarkably large, even though not kept in a prior environment, not kept in a freezer. I am also sometimes paying in nuts, walnuts mostly, but others as well, which at the moment evades me. I want to say almonds. Through the ages, I pay for rooms here often, so this is an environment I come to a lot. The room I am going into has had many occupants. The energy of many other people and even spirits are here. After glimpsing the space, as I am going to pay for the room, stepping out, I see the cleaning person has left a file and some cash on a dash above the door. I am heading to the office to return these, and with the ice, looking into the file as I go. It is about a girl named Karen, not me. I see her, and there are pictures. This is not me. She is Caucasian, has short, almost platinum blonde hair. Not really all the way nice, but not wholly bad either. Mostly just kind of hard and intense. This is the impression I'm getting reading the file. There is also a band that is somehow around my wrist with her name so I don't forget. I have the last name here too, but it gets fragmented on the return into physical space. On my way to the office, I run into her. I am keeping the file tag with her name on it and the cash turned under so she cannot see it. I suppose she was the occupant of the room just prior to me, and this is why she is still here. I am looking everywhere in the office for the manager or someone appropriate to give the file and cash to, but cannot find anyone. I am walking the hallway, opening doors, looking, asking others in these rooms where I might find her. In one of the rooms which I have now entered, my right hip crease begins acting up. The right hip crease is an anomaly that has been with me since my 20s. When it presents, I cannot walk. I cannot bear weight onto the right leg. In this scene, it is clear my whole body is affected by this anomaly. I feel and am walking literally like a jello person, like there is no musculature and only intense, debilitating pain. A male chiropractic type doctor stops what he is doing and comes to help me. Even with his help, the pain is not letting up. He works on my back for some time and expresses he wants me to agree to work with him. There is the very clear knowing that in order to do so, I will not be able to work. I am telling him in no way is this possible. I have to work. I have bills. I cannot just not work for an extended time. He and I both are adamant in our positions. It is a crossroads in this energy which I am struggling through mentally, emotionally, physically. I shift. Militarized war zone. I am now making my way home, riding the passenger seat of this girl's car. She has medium-length brown wavy hair. I'm looking at her close, and is dressed in 1920s, 1940s clothing. We have been talking outside through the night. I am unclothed, waist up, as in a proper OBE. This is a common phenomenon to my OBEs to show up undressed, notably from the waist up. I am sitting here talking to her, looking through shirts to put on. They look like shirts Bonnie would wear, large, cotton, short-sleeve U-neck shirts. As we are driving through the zone, I see people out on the streets at stop points. Some are walking, some are on bicycles. When told to run from one point to another, one barricade to another, while being shot at, I am scanning all the different people, getting a very good look at them. Very good look at them. I'm in the scene right now, which is another common phenomenon to logging dreams, which we'll get into in the next video. They are mostly young adults, dressed the same as the woman now driving me home, in wool clothing. Note, this content prior to the militarized war zone is from the top portion of the night. It is notable that with each shift through beta, it comes somewhat clearly to mind. It stays with me in this way through to the morning. I am highlighting this as it does not happen very often at present. Again, this is a year ago when starting this I'm sorry, I lost my place. Because it does not happen very often at present. Also, the shifts from scene to scene are so fine, I am not really catching them. I am not catching the connections, the points connecting one scene and another scene, which I often do now, having been doing this for so long. It is all on top of each other, not unlike how I am feeling in my body structure through the hip crease anomaly. A cavern in the wilderness. I am arriving at a cabin compound in the wilderness. I am entering one of them that is wholly rectangular in shape via a woman who is here, who is a channel, and is discovering this. She has on a little shelf a treasured passage about Jesus, and is taking the passage to be about channeling, taking this to mean he was a channel. This woman is married and has 2 daughters. I am meeting everyone, the whole family, and getting a good look into the cabin, the life here they have, and the land. There is snow outside, but not a lot. I am surprised I am not cold in here, in this environment, in the cabin. It is all quite cozy and warm, and ever so real. I am physically here. I am conversing with the husband about the temperature in the room, the way I am experiencing it. He is a gentleman, soft-spoken, knowledgeable, and kind. He is going to great lengths to help me understand. I am out of body. So when you're used to being in the beta frequency, in the beta field, in physical space only for an extended portion of time, it begins to seem as though physical space is all there is, as though physical space were the foundation of reality itself. Rightly so, yes, it's all you're experiencing, and what you experience is your reality, and so this is the basis of your reality. You're only touching on little pinpoints of awareness of other areas of consciousness. But when you begin to heighten your dream awareness, when you begin to have dream awareness every day, when you begin to experience yourself in all the fields every day, regularly. Now this changes you. Reality is a little bit of everywhere. The rule sets to reality, what is possible in reality, begins to expand and be much more than it was before. In physical space, there's a rule set that says I can't float up into the air or walk through a wall or levitate or experience telepathy, know things beyond my own discrete being. But in these other fields, these rule sets don't exist. In fact, they're created for physical space. And so when experiencing out beyond physical space, you're not experiencing those constraints, those rule sets. And so the experience base that you begin to have is so much more. What this tells you, in contrast, the differential, what I like to call the torque between the spaces, begins to tell you more about what's possible in physical space. What from non-physical space could you in some way manifest into physical space, and how this might look, ways that this might be possible. Everybody has their particular forte and their focus, whether you be more scientific, more medical, more artistic, more fringy, more mechanical. Whatever your particular, focus and forte is in physical space, what is possible to bring through from the awareness of the fields and what is possible in the other areas can kind of manifest through your discrete being and your focus and forte here in new and wonderful, wondrous ways. Now, one of the things that I began bringing through is my propensity, my capacity and skill working with crystals, with crystal consciousness, with the crystal kingdom. Crystals as an amplification tool, specifically in the arena of communications, which is one of my fortes, a forte that I am looking into in much more depth. Now, in the other fields in galactic space, I tend to play the role of a communications specialist, either a counselor or someone working comms on a spacecraft, something like this. It is always having to do with communications. And so I learned in this space that I can, even in this space, bring through my galactic counterparts, galactic entities, through the use of a crystal, by combining my consciousness with the crystal and amplifying the signal to bring through pictures of what's on the other side, of what's in what we would call non-physical space, what I would call galactic, universal, and cosmic space, and elemental space. So this is one of the ways that the awareness has the dream awareness, what we call dream awareness, what I call awareness of the additional fields, the additional states of consciousness and additional consciousness space. It's all one, it's all at once, it's all connected and connecting at all times. And right here, right now, we can bring through the components of who we are there to hear. The awareness we hold there to hear in whatever ways tend to ignite us. For me, that's with crystals. For you, that will be something completely different. You might take a moment right here, right now, to wonder what that is. What would you manifest? If you could bring through some new idea, something that could help our field, what would it be? Heightened awareness in one field equates to heightened awareness within them all. So when from the beta field, when from physical space, you are heightening your awareness to include more awareness of the fields and frequencies in which experience takes place, the more that begins to take place even here, right here in the beta wave in physical space. So for instance, when I'm reading my dreams, I mentioned this briefly before, and I'll mention it in more detail in a future video, but one of the things that happens is when reading the dreams that are in my logs, can enter them as though they're taking place right here, right now, because in fact they are. So one of the things that you learn is the illusion of space and the illusion of time. You come into an awareness of what I call synchronous states, what others have called parallel processing, just the simultaneity of reality, minus the illusion of space, minus the illusion of time. And so there's a capacity, a propensity even when looking at myself, for instance, for entering those additional fields right here, right now, in this field. So right here, right now, I can open my awareness and be in another place. In my mind, I can be sitting with guidance, getting instruction on what to say here, right now, for instance. In fact, I am doing this. um, so this is just one example of how the other fields can be entered simultaneously at the same time as we are speaking about dreams at the moment and dream logs. I can also right now bring to mind one of the dreams, the dream, for instance, that I have just read you for today, and be right there in the scenes. I am right now in that little hotel room structure. As real as I am when I'm laying down, as fully and completely as I am when I'm laying down doing what we call sleeping. So that's another manifestation, another effect or side effect, if you will, of expanding your awareness into the dream fields regularly, daily. So, more awareness of the fields themselves means more awareness of the fields right here, right now, in this moment, and every moment. And there's a lot you can do with that extra information, a lot you can bring through to help our consensus space. Personality. How is personality altered by heightened awareness? This is another question. Mm, it has made me, for instance, a more patient person. Because minus the illusion of time, you can see that right here, right now is the critical point and juncture of every single thing that happens, every interaction that occurs. And so there's the tendency to dive into it with more authenticity, more importance, rather than when we are just simply experiencing the beta wave, the physical space, the illusion of space, and the illusion of time. There's the tendency to not be the best person imaginable in every moment. So this is sort of a correction for this. I mean, it does have its benefits. It does have its advantages. It will also often take you outside the realm of what other people can fathom or have the desire to deal with. And so you may find yourself with a lot more free time by yourself, however, to explore and expand upon what you're learning. So both are good. It's always all good.